The four girls simultaneously placed their hands on the ground where the handprints were. The handprints glowed with light. Each one of them represents a color. The whole circle glows with light. It was as if they had triggered some kind of switch. They see a golden flower in the middle, slowly rising from the ground. The flower glowed with a dark red light. The flower slowly blossomed. Inside it were beautiful stamens. The four sisters were struck by the sight before them. They couldn't help but want to get closer to the flower in full bloom. Their little sister, curiously, she reached forward with her hand. A magic dust suddenly appeared in the air. The flower was spewing it into the air. Everyone was surprised. They all touched it with their hands, and at once everyone's body. There was a surge of power. Instantly entered their bodies. Belle saw a plant in the corner. She went over to it and raised her hands towards it, and the plant grew instantly, as if it had been irrigated by magic. It wrapped itself around the pillar. Belle had the magic power of the wood element. Anna pointed towards the outside. As a result, the blanket in the distance flew up. It slowly floated in the air. She moved it carefully and it landed on her head. Anna now had the power of the wind element. Jolie wanted to try it out too, and sure enough, a hot flame was released. She had the power of the fire element. Seeing the blanket on fire, Mary stretched her arms towards the ground, and a stream of water appeared in that corner, and it flew to the top of the flame, and it extinguished it. She now had the magical power of the water element. The four sisters were overjoyed. They had never imagined that the basement of the house contained a mysterious magical element, but suddenly the flower emitted a glow. It rushed out in all directions. The woman was about to drink her coffee, but there was a ripple in the cup, followed by a blue halo of light. Linda was horrified. She was a witch hiding in the city. She instantly sensed that the elemental flower had emerged. Whoever could get it would gain the power of the elements. She closed her eyes and felt the location of the elemental flower. She immediately sent her housekeeper to the girl's house, and in another house, another hidden witch, Lisa, was also surprised by the incoming glow. She too was ready to take the elemental flower. The four sisters did not realize that they were in trouble. They emerged from the basement and rushed off to school. Lisa arrives first. She falsely claimed to be a member of the town staff. She blended into the room and explored her way to the basement. Lisa saw the elemental flowers in bloom. She hurriedly grabbed her special elemental glasses and looked at them. Sure enough, the flower. It was releasing elemental energy into the air. The cluster of plants she held in her hand, it seemed to have life in it. It was eagerly dragging Lisa to the flower, gulping down the elemental energy. When she had eaten and drunk enough to prevent anyone from prying into the house, Lisa the witch pretends to help clean the house, but in fact, she has put a barrier around the house. No one with bad intentions could get in, and when she had done so, she left satisfied. No sooner had Lisa left, Linda the witch arrived. She tried to push the door open, only to be bounced back by the barrier. This surprised Linda. She tried again. She still couldn't break through the barrier. Linda realized something was wrong. She went back outside and grabbed her elemental glasses, and there she saw that the whole building, a barrier had been put in place with the power of the elements. Someone had obviously gotten here before her. This annoyed Linda. Just then, her body changed. The woman felt uncomfortable, only to see in her mouth a cute little frog burst out. When the witch Linda gets angry, she spat out many frogs from her mouth. She wanted to take the elemental stamen, but someone else got there first and set a boundary. This made Linda furious. She looked outside the house and saw something wrong. Just as a bird flew into the sky, Linda pointed towards it. The bird turned into an elephant. The elephant landed directly on the roof of the house. It rolled down with the bricks and tiles. There was a flash of light. It reverted back to a goose and flew away. After this series of actions, the boundary outside the house was broken. Some parts of it had simply disappeared. Linda found a window that happened to be exposed. She tried to climb through the window and enter the house, but just as she was about to do so, Lisa the witch was in front of her. She sensed a breach in the boundary she had set up. She knew someone had come to spy on the elemental flower, but she was too weak in Linda's eyes. Linda waved her finger at her. Lisa became a plant and was frozen in place. Her mount was also scared away by Linda. Linda was so happy when she got into the house. She transformed all the paintings on the walls into her own form. Without a moment's hesitation, she went to the basement and found the elemental flower. She unleashed her witch power and wrapped the elemental power around it to neutralize its elemental powers, absorbing it into her body. This gave her the power of all four elements. With the addition of her own earth elemental power, she will have the power of 5 elements in her body. No one will ever be able to defeat her again. The four sisters also sensed that the elemental flower was being blackened. They rushed back to the basement. They saw Linda absorbing the power of the elements. Several people rushed forward to apply their elemental powers. As a result, Anna was frozen in the air. Belle tried to use the wood elemental power, but the witch imprisoned her in the tree. Jolie's flames were easily blocked by the witch. Mary rushed to extinguish the flames. Now all the elemental powers are available to the witch. Even the four sisters are no match for her. But Anna, in the air, kicked the witch when she wasn't looking. Linda was knocked down. Anna rushed to the rescue of the three, and that pissed Linda off. She didn't want to play with them any longer. She unleashed all her witch power and wrapped the elemental stamen around her. The room was filled with blackened elemental energy. They scattered in all directions. The four sisters were on the floor. They struggled to crawl towards the handprints on the floor. Linda is still absorbing the elemental power. Just as she was about to succeed, each of the four sisters crawled to their place. They pressed their hands on the handprint at the same time. The elemental stamens glowed brightly. The darkness was dispersed and Linda was knocked out of the room. When she awoke, she found the elemental stamen was back to normal. The four sisters hugged each other happily. Linda's own body had been cleansed of all magical power. She was horrified and didn't know what to do. Just then, Anna pointed a finger at her and invited her out of the house. Linda fell into the pond. The housekeeper found her in a terrible state and quickly left her. Linda is left alone in the pond spitting frogs. To my surprise, this is the end of the film.